Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
Is there anybody out there that wants to roll? And is there anybody out there that wants to boogie? Tonight, live from the Apollo, Glasgow.
Well, if you're looking for trouble, I'm the man to see. If you're looking for satisfaction, it's satisfaction guaranteed. I'm as cool as a body on ice, hotter than the rolling dice. Send you to heaven, or take you to hell. I ain't fooling, count your tail. I'm a live one.
Welcome to Glasgow Apollo Live with Scott and Andy.
Good evening and welcome to Glasgow Apollo Live. That was Tom Russell. I am Scott MacArthur. How you doing?
Well, I'm better now hearing Mr. Tom Russell.
You did it all good.
That's very good.
That was good.
Live.
He did it today for us. I dropped him a note a couple of weeks ago and it was, I think it's really cool. Anyway.
Thanks very much, Tom Russell.
Very good. I hope you're there, Tom.
Brilliant.
Thank you. So thanks for tuning in for some more music, memories and mayhem with us pair. I think somebody called us, what did they call us? Scandy or Scanty or something last week. And then we had what was it? Off the Ball of the Apollo, and we've had Beavis and Butthead as well, mate, which I'm not so keen on. But I know. They're not very nice to us sometimes. Anyway, just to remind
you are.
What?
It's obvious who you are.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Is it a bald one like?
Hey, mate.
Good face.
Here's a
good face.
Now,
if you're tuning in from the Facebook group, like whoever this lovely person is, see how it says Facebook user, hello all, right? What you need to do is go to the top of the group. There's an announcement there, and you have to click on the wee link. It's on the screen just now. Click, 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 and your name will start appearing on the chat. It would be good if you could do that.
I just thought, click, 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 take me home.
Oh, God. I was thinking clunk, click there. It was going through my head for some reason. Anyway, I almost went in a really bad place there. It wouldn't have went well. Dave, hi, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Raymond, as always, how you doing? Hope you're on the gym tonight, Raymond. Jim Grinnan, how you doing? Notice Scandi. See, there you go. See?
If not, why not?
I'm not sure. Because t-shirts with Scandi on. Evening, ladies, gents, and gender neutrals. Very good, Tommy. That's very politically correct. Don't often do that on this show. Good evening from this Glasgow South Side. Hi, Ricky. How you doing? Tony Robin, how you doing? Hello, Scott and Uncle Tom. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe even more from Tom later if you're lucky. Ian Bamford. Hello. If you're tuning in for the first time, please stick your name into the chat and where you're tuning in from, because we like to know where folk are tuning in from. So, mate, how have you been? Have you had a good week?
I've had a good week.
Good. Look at this. You've got somebody tuning in from Honolulu in Hawaii. That's rather good. Who's that? You need to tell us who you are. Who are you?
So he says.
Well, yeah. I was in Honolulu about 3 years ago, you know. It's very nice. Nice.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was there. It was good.
It was very nice. Yeah. How have I been? Yes, I've been fine.
Good.
Listened to lots of music. None of it this stuff. But yeah. Been trying to listen. I've been listening to some blues music.
Have you?
Yes.
What's that?
Well, I watched a lot of Joan Baez and Motorhead last week.
Ah, fantastic.
And last weekend, so that was not bad. That was good, actually.
He's amazing.
And some Fleetwood Mac, early Fleetwood Mac, and some Freddie King. Albert King.
Albert King.
Freddie King, Albert King.
Yeah. Some good live stuff it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. They're all good.
They're all good. Yeah, no, they are all good. Well, I've been listening a wee bit. I went a wee bit because I've obviously got a problem. You know, I've got some sort of health problem with Steve Wilson. I went back to Porcupine Tree and just listened to them nearly all week.
Good.
Fantastic, with the odd sprinkling again. I'm going through a Nightwish phase as well, which is a bit strange. There's one of their songs, Ghost Love Score. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but my God, it's brilliant. And then today, I got up this morning and I thought, I need something to wake me up or to get my head going. So I put Tool on. I either put Rush or Tool on. You know, put Tool on. Boom. Oh, I love that band. And I got my first tickets for the new after COVID thing. COVIDs, as my dad says. A pal of mine bought me tickets to go and see Big Train at the Birmingham Concert Hall, Royal Symphony. It's a bit like, it's a terror. I hate the place. There's a lot of folk really like it because you can sit like an old person, you know, with your slippers on, and hear everything in, 4K clarity. I hate it. It's the most opposite place to the Glasgow Apollo you could ever imagine, mate. I might take you there sometime when you're down, but or crossed. Sorry, you're across now. Anyway, so yeah, that was this week. So
I listened to Black Sabbath last night from the tour that we're going to mention later.
Yeah.
But it was almost the same set list, but it was from Sydney, so it's just.
That's funny. I looked for it, mate. I couldn't find it because it was on.
I couldn't find an Apollo one, but
I couldn't either.
I saw a Manchester one and a London one and a Sydney one, but the Sydney one was perfect, almost perfect quality. So
was it?
I gave that a go.
Oh, it's not bad. Not bad. We singer that boy. What's his name again?
Not a bad wee chanter, as someone said.
Yes, chanter. Aye, not bad. Yeah. Anyway, I suppose we should start the show as we normally do. Week, mate.
Stumble. Who played this week? Okay, we're doing it this way, right? Good.
We do it that way every week. I've got a running order.
You say that. I don't believe you.
Oh God.
All right, this week we had Tom Paxton. He had brown shoes on, I think, or most of the audience had brown shoes on. Slade. What? What's funny about that?
No. Right, there you go.
Slade and Status Quo.
Pumps. No, platform.
Pumps. You're a pump. What are you talking about?
Thank
you. Pump you, mate. No, you won't.
Goodness sake.
Slade and Status Quo, that would have been, as I always say, a great gig. Because Status Quo would have been a fantastic support. And 49 years ago, mate. Oh my God.
It's not right. It's not right. No, it's not right.
It's not right. Nazareth. Well, Slade. Oh, anyway. Nazareth and the Heavy Metal Kids.
Excellent
gig. Nazareth. I went on a little bit of a Nazareth kick a couple of weeks ago. Brilliant. After I read Billy. Oh my God, I forgot the name. I forgot his name. DJ
Which
Billy
one?
Rankin.
Billy Sloan.
Billy Rankin. No, not Billy Sloan. Billy Rankin.
Other DJs as well.
He wasn't in Nazareth.
No, but I thought you said DJ. I was just trying to help.
Yeah, I did say DJ. So Billy Rankin.
You did.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went. Anyway, so where are we? Status Quo and Montrose. Well, that would have been a great gig too.
That would have been amazing.
Status Quo and Montrose.
Yeah.
COVID
had a fight in their life that night, a fight in their hands that night.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure they were no shrinking violets, Montrose.
No.
And Status Quo probably were giving it laldy, but Montrose were probably giving them a good run for their money. Good band. Okay. Alan Price, Lamplight, and Noel Murphy played on May the 12th, 1975. Hey, did you watch?
Aye.
I watched some Alan Price. I'd forgotten who he was, and then I went, "Oh yeah, that guy. He was on the telly all the time."
He was.
And yeah, he sort of changed his image a bit through the years. He was a bit of a larrikin, not a larrikin. Yeah, a larrikin. I'll say that. It's Australian, but he's a bit of a
Translate.
cheeky chappy. And then he
Ah.
went all sort of posh and had, you know, dinner suits and bow ties and frilly shirts. Yeah, it was good. I watched a couple of videos of him actually. So I was telling a Porky about not watching things. Man and Chipolina has been updated. I should update that on the site. I watched a bit of that last night. Yeah, that was good too. They're all good. Yeah, research. That was a predominantly gutties, sannies, and desert boots gig.
Right.
Yeah, but there's probably a couple of cowboy boots in there too.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones and the Meters did 3 nights of that week. Jesus Christ, mate, that would have been a brilliant.
Yeah.
I heard people saying it wasn't that great. They weren't that great, the Stones, but I'm pretty sure they probably they were okay. I mean, they did 3 nights.
I think they were well refreshed, mate. I think they were well refreshed and flying.
Yeah. I didn't listen to the Meters, although I should have. Yeah, I should have. Neil Slofgren, I don't know if he brought his trampoline, but he probably wore cowboy boots, desert boots, and did some flips anyway, and had scars on his guitar. He would have been great, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know who the support was, but if any of our listeners, watchers, viewers...
Might have been Tom Petty, actually. Was that the Tom Petty gig?
No, that was a year later.
All right, okay.
Someone asked me that, or someone said something. Oh, I said, no, that was a year later. Slade, again, I don't know who this was, but they were still wearing their bowler boots in the DMs and maybe platforms. Don McLean, Bowles Brothers Band. Didn't even look up any Don McLean, but I'm pretty sure he was on banging out American Pie. That was him. Yeah, American Pie. That was him. Yes, that was probably well received there. And did I look up Bowles Brothers Band? No, I didn't. But they probably wore all sensible shoes.
Yeah.
Brooks.
Getting tired. It's getting tired now. This is making Shoegate is about to be discussed.
All right. Okay. Is it? All right. Roxy Music did 2 nights with the Tourists.
Good gig.
That would have been a good gig. Although someone did say that there might have been some miming going on, but
I heard
I would have thought the technology at the time would have been, well, maybe they could have done tapes, but for backing vocals. But this was in relation to the Tourists. But they went on to become the Eurythmics, so they did okay. The Tubes did a rocking gig. Have you heard the Tubes?
Well, they're a bit of an enigma wrapped in a program in a pair of bother boots for me. I've put them on and tried to listen to them. It's a bit like that crowd. A lot of guys like Devo. I know they're not similar, but maybe they are a bit in their weirdness, but they're a bit avant-garde for me. I could maybe give them a go again, mate, but not at the time.
But they put on a show. They've got a song. They probably weren't playing it at that time, but they've got this song called "She's a Beauty."
Right.
She's a beauty. Oh,
good song.
It's a brilliant song. It's a brilliant song. I love it. It's probably the only song. Oh, what? Yeah. Anyway, good band, and they did put on a great show, because a lot of people said they put on a great show because they did. That was the review. I read the review that Ian Bamford put up.
Right.
Did you read
I wonder
that?
if there was anybody there. I wonder if there was a crowd. I know, maybe just Ian though. Maybe Ian just stand there on his own.
No. Yeah, but they were very good.
Yeah.
The review said they were pretty. Oh, was it? No. This is the wrong one. I'm talking about the other one. No, I've got it wrong. I'm thinking about something else. Anyway, all wrong. as usual. It is early. Judas Priest in Marseille. Did you hunt out a bootleg for that to see?
No, it's on my list.
No.
It's on my list. I'll come back to that
Yeah.
later because there's a few things happening with that.
That was, once again, that was Judas Priest and Marseille with the legendary guy from Art Attack on the guitar. Did you miss that discussion last week?
I think I must have. I went to my bed reasonably
Oh,
early
you did.
last week, didn't I? So
You
it was
did.
2 a.m. when I went to bed. I mean, God, you still had 4 or 5 hours to go.
Well, I didn't stay up, but I had to let it go.
God, the stamina.
Well, it was in a day for me. Okay, where are we? Eric Clapton and Chaz and Dave with support in May the 9th. That would have been, he'd probably been, I don't know if he was
Heroin
at those days.
Yeah.
He'd probably gone off, but you know, he's a bit hit and miss sometimes, Eric Clapton.
Yeah, yes.
But I hopefully he rose to the occasion at the Apollo, and Chaz and Dave would have been there.
They would have been great.
Comedic greatness, great. 10cc and 10cc did 2 nights, May the 12th, May the 13th. Yep, very good shows, probably good harmonies. I like 10cc. I'd listen to a podcast about them.
Did you?
Then when they were doing how they did Not in Love, amazing technology for the time.
Yes.
Amazing recording techniques that they tried with the harmonies on that Not in Love. There's Black Sabbath and Girls' School. That was a gig I was talking about earlier that I listened to, the same tour in Sydney. Wee Ronnie was sounding great, so he probably was sounding fantastic in Glasgow. And Girls' School would have banged out a few classics. Hazel O'Connor, 21 Guns and Positive Noise played on Saturday, May the 9th.
40 years ago.
I know, 40 years ago.
She was very good when we set up the website. She was one of the early ones that got in touch with us, wasn't she? She was very nice.
Her album, Breaking Glass.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, as we've said before,
yeah,
why would we listen to that?
I know.
You know,
still a good song.
But the album is great too.
Yeah,
it's a good album.
I heard the album, but it's a good song.
Yeah, I listened to it for one day for a wee while. I thought, yeah, that's great. The Kinks. The Kinks on Thursday, May the 14th. I saw someone say that the Kinks were a bit underwhelming.
Really?
So, yeah, maybe they were just not feeling it that night. They might just not been on their top game. Although they should have been bringing their top game to the best crowd in the land.
Yeah.
Rolls Royce played on Wednesday, the 12th of May. Good. That would have been a dancing gig, I think. If the place would have been bopping. I don't know how busy it was, but it would have been. Yeah. Probably would have been busy. Iron Maiden and Grand Prix. That was Adidas Samba or Kick gig, was it? I certainly. Well, we had a discussion about this. I probably was wearing my DMs or my high-tech squashes, and you were wearing your badminton ones.
I had my badminton ones on.
High-tech badminton.
Yeah.
Exactly the same shoes.
Yeah. Different colours.
Never liked them. Never liked them.
Nah, you're not no class.
No. But anyway, I told that wee story about running down the front with a mate of ours, and I was chasing after him because he was enthused and he wanted to go and see Grand Prix. But you know, when you're running, I seem to feel how sort of when you're running down. I remember running down the stalls, and you feel there's a point of no return where you can't go back. I don't know. You're just like, this is quite steep. Oh, keep going.
It's quite steep.
And then you get to the bottom and you go right up to the wall and you go, oh, I can't see anyone here.
Yeah.
You could just see up. Well, I could just see up Robin McCauley's nose.
Yeah.
Quite a fine nose it is, but that's all I could see.
Yeah.
It was a good gig, and Iron Maiden were amazing too.
They were brilliant.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw them, so obviously excitement was high, and
Yes.
I'd done my study. I'd been listening religiously to Iron Maiden and Grand Prix. Actually, I probably heard Grand Prix Samurai on Tom Russell's show. So
I
that's
remember
what
that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
probably the first time I heard them on there, and probably taped it. Naughty boy, on a TDK C90, and probably sadly cut out Tom's
Dulcet
chat.
tones. Yes.
Yeah. And last but not least, Bucks Fizz with the mini skirts and
Whoosh.
Fun Time. Cheryl. I don't know why everyone liked the other lassie, but I quite like Cheryl. And the other guys were okay too. They were good singers, but not everyone's cup of tea.
They released a single from the Apollo, didn't they?
They did. That's right.
This thing
right.
here, I've got it there. Yeah, that. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's on the website. That's on the website.
Well, I sort of remembered some kind of connection about the Apollo there.
Yeah.
That's right. Good research there, mate.
Yeah, no, I did that on the spot there. That was sort of in the course of the show. Anyway, we had Shoegate this week, didn't we?
Nah, not really.
That was funny. That was funny. Well done.
Yeah.
But I know what folk are saying about it, and it was quite funny. But we've got to be careful what we put in the site. I have to say, I did have a giggle at it. I have to be honest. But
but it's like I said to you. I mean, you could have stuff like, "Oh, what chewing gum did you chew?" Bazooka Joe or PK? Was it Bazooka Joe or PK? Whatever. Be like, I mean, it was funny, but yeah. Where do you draw the line?
I think there is a line, but I'm not quite sure where it is, mate. And it depends what you're.
I mean, it was okay. It was fine, but
it was okay. There's a few comments here.
I didn't like the. Sorry, Paul Stanley, who was there, who put the post up. He dehumanized me by calling me admin. So
I heard that. I saw that. Yeah, naughty boy.
He just called me Andy because it's only me and you. So
the admins.
It's either me or you. it's Scott or Andy.
There ain't no one else.
Just call us by our names. Admin. You're dehumanizing us.
I know, but what it is though, and we'll come back to it in a minute. Actually, I've noticed that happening in other Facebook groups that get big because it almost like loses its personal touch.
Yeah.
Because it gets big. So actually, in a sense, it was a compliment, mate. So,
because there's so many of us.
So many of us now, So anyway, the guys are talking about the Tubes. White Punks on Dope. That's a good song.
Yes,
that's a good song. And Bond's saying the same thing. White Punks on Dope, and she's a beauty. See, I don't. That's the one you mentioned. I don't know that one.
That is such a great song, mate.
I'll need to listen out for that. I did not know it at all. And Ricky's saying, I'll talk to you later. Best songs from the Tubes. Great. I mean, I'm really interested in them because they're clearly daft as a brush, but there's a smartness about them that I think, I want to know about this band.
Very theatrical.
I want to know about them. I just don't know anything about them at all. Tubes gig was pretty busy, I recall, says Ian. They're still touring, and they're touring with Alice Cooper. Really? God.
Wow.
Must have the Zimmer's on the road, or was that Status Quo? Can't remember.
Well, he wore Fee Waybill, the singer, used to wear huge platform boots.
Aye. I think I saw them on the tube. Funny enough.
I think they were probably just glued to the floor and he climbed onto them and into them. I don't know if he walked in them.
We're going to talk about shoes. I mean, you've just made me remember Michael Jackson's shoes. You know the ones when he used to lean? Remember, he had little hydraulics in them so that he could lean.
No, he had a in the ground. Yeah. There was a little slot where he put his heel, I think.
Aye, but there's a little hydraulic thing.
That. He invented that, so he got money from it. Yeah, he patented it.
Yeah, see, it's going to be shoe theme all night, man. Grand Prix Phil lands on now in Uriah Heep. I didn't know that. Grand Prix should have made it, shouldn't they? They were brilliant.
Yeah, well, I think two, correct me, collective, if I'm wrong, but I think 2 or 3 of Grand Prix were from who was that band? What, Uriah Heep? Or they went on. Yeah, they maybe went on, but they were from Uriah Heep.
And
yeah.
I still listen to the album, the Samurai album. And it has dated a wee bit. You know, it's not like if you listen to like even Thunder, you know, that Terraplane album that they had before they became Thunder, that has dated, but you can still feel like there's a good old band there with the Grand Prix. I love that. Is it Shout? You remember the one about going to a gig? A loud scream fills the air. Oh God, I love that.
Good song. It's a good song.
Brilliant, but it's dated. It's bloody brilliant. I don't really care. What's Bond saying? Keep your hands off Cheryl. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know.
Somebody said something about Cheryl. Leave Cheryl alone.
Cheryl Baker.
But all I see, the wrong Cheryl. Right, okay. Buck says Shelley Preston went on to do backing vocals for the Brian May Band. Did she, Dave? Good. I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah.
And then Cheryl Baker went on to co-present the TV show Record Breakers on the BBC One, and that's Liam. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
She had a bit of a career, didn't she? She was on Breakfast TV and all sorts of stuff. Their TV is King by the Tubes. I see. I'm going to have to listen to the Tubes. There's all these Tubes fans in here, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think I actually bought an album.
What, a Bucks Fizz album?
Well, apart from the Bucks Fizz one, I bought the Tubes album as well.
All right.
But I actually bought it. I didn't get Ian Martin to buy it and tape it. Suggest it, and then he bought it, and then
well, he was the one with money, wasn't he? Hello, Ian, if you're there. I doubt it. But anyway, hello. Maggie might be there. Hello.
Maggie might be
there. Ian saying, replying to Dave from Remote Control album. Brilliant. I see. Now, you're winding me up now. I need to go on to something else. Tommy, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Imelda Marcos show.
I wish.
Excellent. Anyway, without any more nonsense, I'm the same. I've got my jammies over here. I've got my new Slade t-shirt. Like, hey, look, I've got a Slade t-shirt. Like,
it's quite cool, like 5 Blade, actually.
It's quite nice. Anyway, with that. Okay, Imelda, tell us all about it.
Hey, I'm not the one with the shoes. Like, I've got 2 pairs of shoes. Clean and dirty. Both of them. Okay, socials, that's right. Socials. Yes. Okay, socials. Well, this week, according to time last night at 10:30, because that's when I went to sleep. We had 53 new members. Thank you very much for joining, people. Thanks for again taking time out and clicking. Can we come in? And I'll let you in.
Somebody posted a brilliant picture of their tickets, and I bloody forgot to put it in the show. It was magic.
I saw that one.
It was really good. If you keep wittering, I'll see if I can find it.
See if you can find it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's wittering. It's just chuntering. Isn't it?
Chuntering.
I'll chunter on. And as of last night, figures may well be updated. Now we've got 9,307 users. Not users. I keep saying users. Members. That's the word I'm looking for. Members of our little Glasgow Apollo community, and Greens too, because there's many of us who went to the Greens. We had 5,918 engagement, which means at least 5,918 people saw something this week from the Apollo, from the sites, from the page. There was 63 posts, 1,188 comments and 4,250 reactions. And there is on Facebook, there's a wee sort of function where you can see the top 5 people who reacted, have posted stuff and reacted and things. And I'll just run down that list for you now. It's number 5, Graham McDonald. Number 4, Bon Scott. Number 3, Paul Stanley. I don't know what he got there, because one of his posts was not back about shoes or something. I don't know what that was about. And William McGachin and Derek McAdam. William McGachin, lots of stuff with once again posters and I think newspaper clippings.
I saw that
from Sound, New Musical Express and everything like that, and sounds and things. And Derek McAdam, every day that man surprises me with what he has in his little room, his little room of music. I don't know where he gets his stuff from, but he must have just saved every clipping or everything for every gig that he's been to. Well done, Derek, and thanks for
absolutely fantastic.
Great. And Derek, you had 998 thumbs up or reactions this week. I know that's just people posting on his stuff. So
I found that person. Amazing. Here it is here, Andy. Look, it's a guy called Graham. Hi, Graham. Graham Hinshelwood. Yeah. That's the one there. Can't really see it that well. Sorry, folks, but I can see some of the gigs jumping in. There's a lot of those tickets signed as well. But that's just great getting that sort of thing every week. Nearly every week that happens.
Yeah,
just
amazing.
Brilliant.
It's great. Brilliant. I like how I saw one person had they posted. I can't remember who it was, but they posted their picture of a ticket, and then in the background there was a wee plastic bag with all their tickets in it. It was quite cute. It was quite nice. I thought, they keep their tickets. I was trying to see the ticket. I was like, what is that one? What's that one? Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It's great how people keep their tickets. But I don't know. Tickets nowadays, I don't know. They're pretty much the same all round.
Yeah, they are a bit.
Or you print them out yourselves. That's it.
I hate that. I've not done that yet. I can't be doing with it. Yeah. I know I'm going to have to get with the program one of these days, but I don't like doing it. A couple of things. Can I just interrupt? There was 2 things I wanted to show everybody. I'm back at my analog stuff, correspondence, and this is something we got weirdly, Andy, from someone who lived in Macaulay Grange in Aberdeen, Ian Cuthbert.
Right.
And it was ages ago he sent this, but he says this, and I thought this was quite nice. It said, I spent ages on the site the other night, and I found my mind wandering back not only to a ropey old theatre, but to the whole of Glasgow that simply just does not exist anymore. It was surely more than fate that saw the Apollo sign on Renfield Street demolished the same year, 1988, that the new Glasgow opened itself to the world with the Glasgow Garden Festival. The legends of the Apollo simply did not fit with Glasgow's new image of the European capital of culture, and the powers that be wanted to airbrush it. Very sad. Take a walk around Glasgow city centre and watch the overnight Celtic fans dressed up in their designer gear. I take it he's a Rangers fan, and their Timberland boots, drinking £3 bottles, that dates it, of imported beer, and singing songs. Yeah, this is not what Glasgow is all about. Whether for football or a concert in Glasgow was an experience, a city like no other. But now the names above the doors are depressingly familiar and uniformly bland, pretty much as every other city in the Western world. Oh, well, that cheers you up, doesn't it? I get where he's coming from. I get where he's coming from.
When did he send that? When did we get that?
That was a wee while ago, a few years ago now.
Right.
Just I thought it was quite interesting that because we've been talking about some of the stuff that's been on the socials about how Glasgow's changed and how everything's changed, and whether it's better or worse. I don't really know. I think it's better probably, but some folk don't think so. Anyway, I interrupted you, mate. Sorry, we're in full flow. I've got one other one as well that I want to show. It's really funny.
I can't remember what it was.
All right, well, there's another one here. Remember last week I spoke about Leo Sayer
Yes.
Well, this one is someone else of similar ilk, I would say. This is from Shakin' Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Most of this is on the website, but I just wanted to show folk. It's quite funny because Shaky's manager at the time was called Sue. She sent us this picture. Look.
Brilliant.
And there's Shaky with his 2 Apollo sold out trophies.
Fantastic.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And it came in a nice wee bag. And then there's a bit of a threat at the end, though. She says,
I'm going to
just the final paragraph. There's a nice bits on the website, this bit. But then at the end she says, sorry to be formal, Scott, but just to confirm, all rights in the photograph and text will remain with blah, 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 and the permission being granted in connection with the above quote, and the photograph is solely for use for the Glasgow Apollo website, and not for any other use without the prior written permission of blah, 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 and obviously should not be used out of context. Blinking heck. I mean, it's a photocopy.
Yeah. Well, she's just covering her ass, mate.
It just made me giggle. I thought it was a wee bit formal. Yeah. Yeah. So that was two of the old things that we've had in. I've got a box of these, and nobody's ever seen them. So I hope folk don't mind me reading them out, because it's so long since we've read them. No, it's quite nice because they're proper memories. I think Ian Cuthbert's on the website. I think I recognise the name. So Ian, if you're there, how you doing? Thanks very much. Now, where are we, mate? I've lost my place.
We've done the social.
Right. Now, what else happened? There's a few things that jumped out to me, and you've touched on some of them. Everybody goes on about the Skids gig. I think that sounds like that was a brilliant gig, that Skids gig. Yeah. But Status Quo and Montrose, I mean, I absolutely love Sammy Hagar, and I liked him in all his forms, whether he was in Montrose or in his own band or in Van Halen or in the more recent stuff. It's fantastic. Yeah. What a gig that must have been, mate. Yeah, because Quo were on fire at that.
That must have been about 22, 3.
Aye, unbelievable. Yeah. And I mean, I've got there's a clip on YouTube on Montrose on the same. I think it's the night after the Apollo gig. They did the Old Grey Whistle test, and bloody hell, they were a good band.
What was Space Station number 5? No.
Aye, well, they did a couple of songs. But what I didn't realise, I was reading a bit, but just because I was curious, that in the States they used to call them the American Led Zeppelin, and it's quite funny because Sammy's a huge Zeppelin fan, isn't he? And he does Zeppelin songs.
There's a Radio Clyde recording of Sammy Hagar, and they do a whole lot of love at the end.
Yeah,
and it's perfect. It's great.
It's brilliant. And I've got my grubby little hands on that, so I'll probably play that next week because thankfully our friends at Rescued Recordings have had a copy of that, because I had a copy of it, but it was on tape, and I chucked my tapes out, didn't I? Egypt.
Yeah.
But, here's somebody here, Facebook user, saying Montrose and Co are both at the top of their game. Co would need to have been. They couldn't have done any of this muck that they're doing these days to cope with Montrose, because they were.
Well, they hadn't made any yet.
No,
they hadn't made any of that stuff. So.
That rubbish. Yeah. But Ricky's saying it was his wee plastic bag, mate. There you go. It's cool, Ricky. It really was.
Right.
It was
nice one, Ricky.
Yeah. And then the Skids gig. I don't know the Skids that well, but everybody that talks about them from that era, and even from today, talks about how good a band they were. So I wish I had.
I keep wanting to say, I didn't know the Edge went on tour with his kids. So it's just my sense of humor.
Absolutely. And another one that, this was right at the zenith of our time getting into music, really.
Very good. I hope you're there, Tom. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
What was that? You checking out.
Yeah.
So this was Ronnie James Dio's first tour with Sabbath, and Derek put that up there, and there was a whole load of people talking about how good it was and how good wee Ronnie was. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. I know it's heresy, and I know there's a couple of folk on here like Stefan who are big Sabbath and Ozzy fans. I'm not that keen on Ozzy Sabbath, but I love Ozzy's solo stuff. You know, I'm much keener on his solo work than I ever was with Sat. I mean, obviously there's some great songs, and I was at the last gig in Birmingham when they finally stopped the end gig. But I'd love to be at that Dio gig, mate. I'd love to be at it. And then the Maiden one we mentioned earlier, that's the Grand Prix gig, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was on there. And so other stuff that came up, there's a few bits and pieces that I thought were quite cool. There was Paul the Shoes Stanley talked about who
the boot,
yeah.
No, we can't call
as boot.
We'll call him Boot Stanley.
Paul went into Apollo speak after he got his shoes thing stuck on the website, and he asked one of the classics was who was the best support band.
Yeah.
Geez, what a flood! Just whoosh, We had Bill Hamilton say well, I tried to pick out some unusual ones. Bill Hamilton said Earth, Wind and Fire supporting Santana was something else. I bet that was good, actually. Aye. Yeah. And there actually are photographs, black and white photographs of Earth, Wind and Fire at the Apollo, but I think they might be lost because they were Stuart's, our friend, who we use quite often, but they were on the other disc, and I'm not sure I've still got it. So, but I do remember there were great photographs. The energy was jumping out the photographs. Other things came up, like obviously Skinnerd, the Cramps. Then there's another band, like a bit like the Tubes, mate, that I just don't know the Cramps music at all.
Right.
And I know a lot of folk again rated them, but I just never quite got into their groove at all. And what else? Another one came up. Two that I didn't realize they played the Apollo. Gentle Giant, who I really like.
Right.
Before Steve Wilson went into ABBA, he reproduced all their albums, and they're fantastic albums. I mean, it's very prog, very 70s prog, but very good. And then the other one, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we played Howard Jones, and apparently it was Strawberry Switchblade that supported him.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I maybe knew it and I'd forgotten about it.
I think he did 2 gigs. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that might have been it. And then the ones that you and I have spoken about before, Blackfoot, Van Halen, and the Specials come up quite a lot as well as a cool support act. So that was a good question. That and no shoes were damaged in that discussion.
No shoes were harmed in the making of that.
The other one, and I promised I'd do a bit of digging. John, who came on a couple of weeks ago. Well, I didn't come on. He very kindly sent us a copy of his book. He wrote this book about Glasgow and the music scene, mainly to do with the Kelvin Grove and Festival and Radio Clyde. He does mention the Apollo in there. John asked about characters. Everybody remembers Hello, Willie Potts. I know you're a regular, but somebody mentioned Jet Mayfair. And Jet passed now, but a few years ago when we did when Tommy McGrory did the Glasgow Apollo musical, I was there. We managed to get this photograph, and that's Frank Lynch on the left, and that's wee Jet on the right. Right. So 2 Apollo legends. You were standing just to the right of that, mate, when I took it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing his silver jacket that night.
Sorry?
He wasn't wearing his shiny jacket.
Up, but he still had it's quite flamboyant. Even our James would be quite impressed with that shirt, I think, that he's wearing there. But so yeah, 2 Apollo legends there, guys, in the one picture, which I was chuffed I found it because we've got so many photographs. It's sometimes quite difficult to find anything. But that was quite good. Cool. That was quite cool. A few comments. Facebook user saying the producer of Montrose went on to produce Van Halen, amongst others, Ted Templeman. There you go. Yeah. Wisdom from the Clouds. And so did the Clouds do Close to the Edge? What? Don't get that.
So did the Skids do Close to the Edge?
I don't know, mate. Don't know. Oh, I know I recognise this guy. Nora Muir. Very good, guys. Time for some shut-eye. Good night, Mr. Muir. Right.
Good night, Dad.
And Ricky's saying apparently Oz said something uncomplimentary about Ronnie. Ronnie responded by saying Ozzy could not carry a tune in a suitcase. Oh. I think that's a bit tough, but do you know what?
No, I think Ozzy surprisingly is good, good singer. He's got his limits, but he's got a good ear for melody, and he writes a good tune. I mean, without Ozzy in Sabbath. There would be no Dio in Sabbath.
Oh no, that's right. That's right. I mean, I've said this.
And there would be no Dio. There would be no Dio. So
we wouldn't have had Mob Rules or Heaven and Hell or anything like that. Wouldn't have happened, would it? So, but I mean,
imagine hearing Mob Rules for the first time at the Apollo.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. Do you know? I think a lot of folk prefer Heaven and Hell, but I really like Mob. That song Country Girl that's on there. Bloody hell! What a song!
You know, I read a thing about the recording of that album, and they said they just, when they recorded that song, they just thought, can we do a song of it?
Yes.
A Country Girl. And then they didn't really pay much attention to the lyrics. Like Tommy Iommi and Geezer Butler. They just let Ronnie do it from then on, because it was all mostly Geezer Butler did the lyrics.
Yes. Yes.
I think he did most of the lyric writing, and Ozzy, chipped in a few. But yeah. But so they let Dio have a go, and he came up with Country Girl, and he went, "You really?
That'll do it. Thank you."
I think they went, "Oh, we'll try it," but it's a bit weird.
Here's John responding to that Jet Mayfair thing, saying he had a night out with Jet Mayfair when he fixes up with a couple of birds. What happened next is not for a family show.
What kind of birds?
Aye.
Pigeon.
Albatrosses.
Starlings.
Yeah. Someone just confirming that Howard Jones was my last gig at the Apollo in December '84. That was a gig when he was supported by Strawberry Switchblade. There you go. And Bond's saying both the Dio Sabbath albums are superb. Can't be separated. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that. What was the one called? Dehumanizer. That wasn't so good. Although
that was all right.
It was all right. On reflection, I can listen to it now. And Ricky said, Sign of the Southern Cross was what a riff. It was just crunch. Remember that? Oh, it was magic.
Yeah.
But the one thing that disappointed me about that Sabbath time was when they produced that live album, and it was mince.
Did you not like that?
No, it was like
I remember Tom Russell played that. We were at high school, so Tom Russell, I was listening to it, and Tom Russell played a song from it. And the week after, during that week, I sent Tom a letter. Right. And I said, I was being my diplomatic self. I basically said, Tom, I think he did justice to the Ozzy songs. Yes. And Tom read it out, and then he sent me a wee postcard with him on Radio Clyde.
There's probably a recording of that lurking in a corner somewhere. But
it probably is, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, just before we move on, I'm just going to do a wee ad as usual, just to tell you what we're up to in terms of try to get a wee bit of cash in to pay for bits and pieces of the website, etc. On the 16th of June, what's a bit loud, isn't it? My goodness. On the 16th of June, I'm going to be doing a 1 hour sort of summary of all things Apollo. Slightly more formal than I do on here, but we're going to talk about how the building came about, what it was like, why there was a golf course on the roof, other myths and stuff that you might never have heard of. So if you get a chance, it's 13 quid a ticket. I know a few of you have bought tickets already, which is terrific, but it helps me and Andy with the software we've got to buy, really. That's the main cost we've got at the moment. So if you could do that would be great. And of course, we've also got the merch store, which I know a load of you have bought t-shirts, which is terrific. So if you get a chance, I think I've got the where is it?
There's a sale on usually twice a month on that. So
yeah.
If you just go on and check it out, you might get.
It's not bad gear, is it? It's not bad gear at all.
Not bad. If you go and check it out, it might be on sale. So you might get a bit of a bargain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the other thing that happened last week is that what?
I was just laughing at.
Are we getting abused?
Tommy Bon Scott putting rumour has it Freeway Bill wore platform high-techs on stage.
Come on, move on.
I wore platform high-techs on stage.
Dear me. The other thing that's been happening is over on the YouTube channel. We got our 100 viewers, which is absolutely brilliant. So we now have a very sensible YouTube address, which is www.youtube.com/c/Glasgow Apollo Live. You can you can miss the C out. It's just Glasgow Apollo Live, and it's really interesting. In the last week, I'm not going to go all numbers on you, but it's been a lot more views since that title went in, because that's folk just typing Glasgow Apollo and it comes up more in searches. So thank you guys. That is absolutely fantastic. I love that's happening. So thank you very much. Brilliant. So without any, hold on, I better take that off because that looks a bit untidy. I don't want it to be untidy. So my favourite bit of the show is next.
We're on the screen.
Thank you very much for those of you who've been in touch about this and are promising to do videos, which is terrific. We've got a competition going on just now, if you've not tuned in before, where by the end of if you send a video to us about your Apollo memories, by the end of the month, it doesn't have to be fancy. It can just be you looking at your phone for 30 seconds, telling us your best memory, your worst memory, whatever it is. And then we're going to have a draw.
Which month?
This month. May.
What month is this? May. Right.
Oh, he's forgotten what month it is.
No, I'm not. I've forgotten. People might be watching this later on.
On replay. Okay. No, you're right. You're right. And we're going to do a draw live on. I thought I was going to go for a button there. On the show, and the winner will get a copy of this Russell Leadbetter book, which is really quite rare. I know a lot of you've got it. You've been telling us about your stories about it in the comments. But the winner will get sent that. And anyone that sent a video before the competition will also be entered into the competition, because we don't think it's fair to exclude them. So.
I had a look at on eBay. Other websites are available, but I had a look on eBay for that again, and it was $190. So it was like, is that 100 quid? Ish,
yeah.
It's crazy. But it was from America. I don't know why it was. Maybe someone had moved and sold it there. I don't know.
Well, there's quite a big expat community as we get on here, mate. So maybe it's that. But
yeah.
So to the fun bit of the evening, really, the music part of the evening. We've got two extreme contrasts here. No, sorry to remind you, but the reason we do the music at the end is because we've had all these copyright claims against us. We've now got a copyright claim against every single show that we've done. And it's no big deal because we've not had any what they call copyright strikes, but if we do get 3 strikes, they can take us down. So we've got to be really careful. So we're doing it at the end, and I'm sticking very much now, when Andy and I talk about what music to play, we're sticking very much to the rescued recordings that are gathered for us all by the amazing Jack McCarthy, Stephen McKinley and Phil Osborne, who are actually a little offer at the moment where you can get a download for £1 from the list of over 300 gigs now from the Apollo. So we're going to stick to them. And actually it's helping because it means next week, I already know what Andy and I are going to play next week. He doesn't. Oh, he does. I've told him. But,
what are you saying about Jack's £1? What's that?
He's I don't know the full details yet. Jack will put something in the chat. He might even have done it already. I had a chat with him earlier, but Jack always watches the show tomorrow. He never watches it on Friday night.
Right.
And I think he might have posted already. So he's basically just trying to raise a few quid. He's only charging £1 for a download, so it's absolutely buttons. I mean, I think he should be charging more than that personally, but that's what he's decided to do. Nice man.
Is this all right? Okay.
On you go. Right. It's just to raise a few quid, mate. From downloads, because I think a lot of folk don't like the sound of this, but the CD is dead. Long live the download. I think a lot of folk are wanting downloads now rather than CDs. So I think he's responded to that in part. It might not be true. Jack, you can tell us. But that's kind of what I feel is going on. But anyway, if you can support Jack, we and the guys, let's say Jack, Stephen and Phil, that'd be fantastic. So the 2 recordings we've got tonight, I'd say they could not be different. Now, should I do the rock song first or the folk song first? Go on, Andy. What do you reckon?
No. Do the folk song first.
Folk song first, right. So the first piece we're going to play tonight, and I have to say, I put this on and I listened to the whole thing, right?
So did I. When When it was online the first time I heard it.
Aye, and we're gonna play something by Joan Baez tonight. Now, Joan, but this is from back in 1977. Now, if you don't know Joan Baez, I think most of you will know Joan Baez, but she was an American singer-songwriter, quite famous for being a bit of an activist. And believe it or not, I just found this out tonight. She released over 30 albums. And she's quite famous for doing interpretations of classics by the likes of Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones. But recently she's been doing, more contemporary people like Ryan Adams and Steve Earle. And she was one of the artists that performed in 1969 at Woodstock. So she's, a bit of a dude. Now, I didn't know this. Her mum was from Edinburgh.
All right.
She's Scottish. Yeah. So her mum was from Edinburgh. So that really astonished me. Her mum was born in 1914, so one imagines she's no longer with us. But sorry if Miss Baez is still alive, and I'm saying she'll be 106 right enough. So I think she's probably. So the song that I've gone for, right? It's taken from an album called "Blown Away," which was a lot of folk thought it was quite a sort of more a pop album, but I've listened to it, and it does have quite a few covers on it, including a version of the song made famous by Rod Stewart, "Sailing," the classic Rod Stewart song.
All right,
which I didn't know she had done either. So,
he didn't write it.
No, Rod Stewart didn't write it. No, it was what's his name? I've forgotten his name. So the song we're going to play,
Sutherland brother, I think.
I can't remember who wrote it. Sorry. But the song she wrote it's one of her songs, and it's called a Heartfelt Line. And it's a nice wee song. And I think what's interesting about the bootleg, though, the rescued recording, is that if you listen to it, she talks a lot to the audience, and she puts on this ridiculous Scottish accent. I mean, it is utter trash. And she forgets where she is, and she thinks she's in Edinburgh at one point, and then she goes back to Glasgow. But I have to say, I found her really genuine. Although she did, a bit of that waffly, where am I type pop star stuff. I thought it was really quite cool. So this is one of her songs. It's a nice wee short one, but nevertheless, this is Joan Baez. I hope you like this, guys, from 1977 live at the Glasgow Apollo.
Thank you. Speaking of blowing in the wind, is there a roof on this thing? It's absolutely freezing. Is it as cold down there? Yeah. Yes, but you knew about it, so you came with your ski clothes on. I've got all on my Irish underwear and everything I could find. Yes, I can hear you all have pneumonia. That's no wonder it's often Boot Argentina. You have to sit in front of your television sets and scream just to stay alive. Though the songwriters of the industry write most of the songs I do, it's clear that no one will ever sing them quite the way I do. I think tonight I'll sit down and write a heartfelt line or two. And if it turns out good enough, I'll owe every word to you. To the kid I thought was a little too young to know what sadness was, who took me out when I was down and set out to find the cause of why the lady had the blues and seemed on the verge of tears. I tell you, that kid must have been around for 150 years. And to the tough guy blonde with the front tooth gone and ships all over his chest, who approached me out on the promenade of a beach heading into the west. His friends lay around on the Muscle Man lawn like a drunken pirate band, but he turned into a gentleman, called me a lady and kissed my hand. And on the songwriters of the industry write most of the songs I do. It's clear that no one will ever sing them quite the way I do. I think tonight I'll sit down and write a heartfelt line or two. And if it turns out good enough, I'll owe every word to you. To the man and the woman who threw me a glance as they picnicked by the sea, but turned their gaze to the kid and the food so as not to bother me. They got up to leave and the woman looked on as the man leaned down to say, you've always meant so much to us, don't want to bother you, and have a nice day. And to the band of gypsies I call friends who speak so carefully, their friend with a life unlike their own and its strange complexities, who have the patience of the saints when I've been down for a spell. I wish it was a whole lot easier to find the words to wish them well. I know the songwriters of the industry write most of the songs I do. It's clear that no one will ever sing them quite the way I do. I think tonight I'll sit down and write a heartfelt line or two, and if it turns out good enough, I'll owe every word to you. And if it turns out good enough, I'll owe every word to you. Thank you.
So that was Joan Baez doing Heartfelt Line or Two from 1977 at the Apollo. Quite sweet.
That was nice.
Aye. She said of the album, it's quite funny, she said it was a good album with a terrible cover. I agree.
Well, I wonder, why did she choose that then?
Well, she was on a new record deal, and I'm wondering if she really didn't have much choice when she did that, because you know what she's like. But I think she's all right. I mean, I think she's pretty cool. Some of the guys are saying here, I think Joan Baez is better than this. Seems quite bitter. I don't know if it was actually Facebook user. Some of it, she said, I was reading about the song, and she was reflecting more about the industry. But you might be right. You know, she was in the middle of her. I mean, a lot of the rest of the gig is about the I mean, the language is outdated now, but she's talking a lot about the gay and lesbian community, and she had really had a bee in her bonnet about it. I mean, she goes on about it quite significantly, and she wrote songs. I think 2 or 3 of the songs in that album actually are about that. So she was definitely had that protest movement thing going on. Good for her.
That was Cheryl.
Sorry?
That was Cheryl.
Was it? Right, okay.
Not from Bucks Fizz.
Hello, Cheryl. Have you heard the number? Where has all the flowers gone? Yeah. That's a nice song.
That's a brilliant song.
But she did. I mean, the Bob Dylan songs that she did, you know, absolutely fantastic. You know, but you know, I think sometimes, I mean, Ian said, you know, not my cup of tea either. Too much. I've suffered from my music now. It's your turn. Yeah. I have a sort of mixed relationship with her, because when she goes into the higher register, when she sings, I can't be doing it, and I'm a Rush fan, you know, but she goes way up here somewhere in a lot of songs. But she had some set of pipes when she was doing that, so.
She was on stage herself.
Aye.
Playing to however many people. So
and it sounded busy.
Yeah,
so
in the freezing cold Apollo.
Yeah, and she was freezing.
When was it recorded? Summer.
So the other piece of music, which is a complete diametric opposite of that, is we're going to look at one of the most famous rock and roll bands. Lemmy always said that Motorhead were not a heavy metal or a punk band; they were a rock and roll band. But we're going to have a wee tune called Bomber, because I just love it, and it's interesting because the recording we've got on the Rescued Recordings, it's actually an audience recording. It's a bloody good recording, and you wonder what sort of kit these guys. I mean, some of you guys did it. I think they must have had really good kit to get this quality recording on a fan record. So I'm bloody impressed. Anyway, Motorhead formed in '75, and 2 original members left and were replaced by Phil Taylor and Fast Eddie Clarke. And along with Lemmy, that was regarded by most of us as the classic. The classic Motorhead lineup. And I didn't really realise this, but they were actually seen as part of the new wave of heavy metal. Now, I never thought of them like that. But anyway, they released 22 studio albums. I don't think they were, mate. I don't think they were. Various live albums and compilations. Now, the live album, it's on my wall above me here, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. what an album. We Are the Road Crew. I'll never forget that. I loved it. Terrific. And they sold more than 15 million albums. So Motorhead have sold less albums than last week's Man of War.
Wow.
I think that's quite interesting.
I think that's
and unfortunately, by 2018, as everybody knows that tunes into this, all three of the classic Motorhead lineup had passed away. The rest of the guys, like Phil Taylor and all the rest of them, have moved on. But the classic lineup have now all passed, which is really, really sad.
A candle at
both ends, yeah. This is the title track from the 79 album, where they were really starting to go up and up and up at this point. And in fact, they played the Reading Festival while they were making the album. And they supported two other acts that were loved at the Apollo. They were joined on stage at Reading by the Police and by the Tourists.
Wow.
Which is an interesting mix.
That's a weird mix.
1979, man, bloody hell. Anyway, the song, I didn't know this, was named after a Len Deighton book, and that was about sort of looking at the war, and it was talking about how the British bombers had bombed the wrong city in Germany, and then the song goes out to talk about both sides. It's quite a mixture of, it was apparently Lemmy says it was the first song he wrote about war because he had a bit of a penchant for talking about all things war. So this is the classic lineup of Motorhead, recorded in somebody's pocket. It must have been a microphone.
Do you think it could have been the projector room?
Could have been. But this is, we hear how Lemmy introduces it. It's quite, you need to listen quite closely at the beginning, but it's quite funny.
It's called Bumber.
bet he had big, ugly black boots on, mate.
Yeah.
Excellent. Slightly
That
biased.
sounds like a record.
It did. It's brilliant. I mean, recorded in someone's pocket. So I reckon Ian Bamford, look at it, Ian's been really cheeky. Like, Motorhead probably sold more T-shirts than albums. You might be right.
Yeah.
But I've got it all over the house. And James has arrived. Nirvana comes under that boat also. We'll talk about Nirvana some other time. But yeah, very good. I thought that was brilliant. It kind of takes me right back to seeing them because it was just a riot. I mean, it was fantastic. And Lemmy and the boys always gave 100%. And I actually saw Phil and the Bastards, one of the other guys, a couple of years ago at Bonfest, and they were good as well, to be honest. And they only did Ace of Spades. That was the only, and they did Killed by Death. Remember that song, Killed by Death? Yeah, that was it. But yeah, brilliant. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I thought it was magic. And that James, pretty good. Look at this cheeky bugger here tonight. Like, not much of a fan of the old motor napper. Cheeky monkey. Anyway.
Well, can't be a fan of everything.
Well,
you can't. I was went a bit Northern Irish there. You can't.
Your accent was a bit as Scottish as Joan Baez's was in that.
I was watching Dairy Girls.
Yeah. I've never watched that, Anyway, that's
great. Good show.
I've heard it's really good. So I think we're done. We didn't get kicked off tonight, which is really good.
Fantastic.
We avoided the copyright police. So unless you've got anything else to say, mate, thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks very much to Tom Russell for firing us over some jingles this morning. That was fantastic, Tom. Thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And I think it was great seeing Andy's face. It was brilliant.
That was good. That was really
good. I told him I wouldn't tell you. Saying I edited it a bit and then did the sound a bit. But here's Facebook user saying probably seen. I think this is Liam. I've probably seen Motorhead more than any other band. Is it Liam?
Anthony Robin.
Oh, why his name was coming up earlier? That's weird. It's weird. Sorry, mate. We know your name was up earlier. It's bizarre. So
maybe the restream thing's gone a bit.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the other thing that's been hilarious today, the restream thing, they've had an upgrade again on Chrome, and it's all going to hell. It's going to hell again, so never mind. Okay, so anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. My name is Scott MacArthur.
My name is Andy Muir.
If you'd like more of this nonsense, as we do every week, we have our after show Zoom call. If you go to the Glasgow Apollo Facebook group, it's at the top. It's one of the top. It is the top post at the moment. Just click on there. A couple of people have joined it already, which is quite impressive. But you can join us there for more nonsense. I get the Guinness out. Andy gets the tea out. Recipe for disaster. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And if Scott can find the video that plays it out, there it is. There, I've got it. So I did two things at once. You say.